minutes will be very easy. Yes, in the previous class we have discussed factors affecting demand, if you remember. Okay, price of commodity, income, related goods. You know what are related goods? Two types of related goods. Okay, substitutes and complementary goods. You remember how the relationship is established between them. Tastes of the consumers. Okay, population, government policy, and other factors. So then all these factors, when we're trying to establish a relationship, then comes the law of demand. Okay, so today's class will be law of demand, its assumptions and exceptions or limitations. So simply the law of demand tries to establish a relationship between price and quantity demanded. So please, when you're trying to study or understand the law of demand, please ignore all these other factors which you're seeing on the screen. Okay, there are around 10 to 12 factors. Okay, ignore all of them and only keep price of the commodity in mind. So what is law of demand? It is only a relationship between price of the good and quantity demanded of that particular good for that particular time. That's it. So the law of demand says that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded of a commodity. What is inverse relationship? As the price decreases, the quantity demanded of that good will increase in general. Okay, so don't take other assumptions into account. Okay, so of course there are other exceptions also. Generally, whenever you are trying to study the principles of economics in this semester, try to apply them to agricultural products, daily necessities only, right? How an average consumer behaves. Then, so this is a generally, see, if the law of demand, if you're trying to explain it in the form of a table, that is called as demand schedule. So please don't confuse. Okay, so the law of demand, if tabulated in the form of a table, it is called as demand schedule. You can see here price. As the price falls down, the quantity demanded is being increased. Okay, then so what is law of demand? It says the amount demanded increases with a fall in price and decreases with a rise in price, vice versa. Okay, that is the law of demand. Then see, generally the law of demand or demand curve is downward sloping. Remember always. What do you mean by downward sloping? Downward sloping means when one of the variables decreases, the other variable starts increasing. In such situations, you will get a downward slope. Then the demand curve is definitely downward sloping according to the law of demand. And it is not so easy to just say law of demand saying that decrease in price leads to an increase in the quantity demanded and vice versa. They say that this law of demand is applicable. It is true only if it fulfills these assumptions. Okay, it means when under such assumptions only the law of demand is truly valid or applicable. So what are those assumptions? There is no change in consumers' tastes and preferences, which in the present scenario, okay, if you apply for other goods other than agricultural products, if you try to apply this for other goods, definitely our taste and preference keeps changing. Okay, if not now, maybe after 1 month it may change. Okay, so but remember this law, the principle. What is the law? As the price falls, demand increases, or if as the price increases, the demand will decrease. This is true only whenever tastes and preferences are not changed, they are constant. Then income should remain constant. Income of a consumer should remain constant. Why? Because if my income suddenly increases, then even though the price of a good is increased, I will buy it because my purchasing power increases now. Okay, that's why they mentioned that income also should remain constant if the law of demand should be a valid one. Then prices of other goods also should not change. Okay, for example, let us assume the price of a particular stock, a particular good is coming down. Then according to the law of demand, the demand for that particular product should increase. But if the prices of other goods also fall, then what happens? Maybe the consumer will start buying the other good other than the commodity X. So they mean to say that if the law of demand is to be applicable for a commodity X, okay, other, at least other goods means related goods, maybe other agricultural goods, other agricultural products, prices should remain same. For example, Y, the price of Y should not change. If the price of Y is changed, then maybe in case of X, even though the price is decreased, the demand may not still be increased. So which really in the real scenario, it is not possible because the prices of other goods will also keep continuously be fluctuating. But it is assumed that the price of other goods should not change. They should remain constant. Then there should be no substitute for the commodity. How can you enjoy a monopoly business all the time, right? Definitely there will be a substitute for a particular product existing in the market. Then they say that there should be no substitute. Why? Because you have seen in the case of tea and coffee, right? Then what is happening here? If the price is increasing, then what they do, they shift to their other substitutes. Or if the price is decreasing, right? So what they mean to say is there should not be any substitute for that particular commodity. Then the commodity should not confer on at any distinction. Distinction means there is a principle. I'll just show that here. You're seeing here demonstration effect. Okay, so what it means, distinction effect means, see, there's a very interesting example. You uh, you visit any shopping mall, or you go to a pizza store, right? Initially, you go with one. You plan to buy something, right? You go to that store and you are about to order something, but what happens suddenly? You see a person next to you is ordering something, or his order is being delivered. Just by looking at that particular order which is delivered to him, you immediately change your mind, right? Maybe that product looks very attractive to you. So maybe the product, when it's being delivered to the consumer, you look at it and it looks more attractive, and you feel like, why don't I try this? Then what is happening here? Suddenly you are shifting your choice from one product to the other product. That is called as distinction. Means you're trying to behave or buy something what others are trying to buy or get it. So this is called as distinction. So what it is, the commodity should not confer at any distinction. So even this should not exist. But most of the times it exists. You might have experienced it a number of times, right? You visit to a store, you actually plan to buy something, but you end up in buying some other thing because you look at others, and as they buy it, you feel like, why don't I try this? This should not happen. Then the demand for the commodity should be continuous. What do you mean by continuous? It means people should be continuously they should the commodity should be definitely in use. People should be continuously buying that particular commodity. So which is only possible in our regular necessities of life, that is again agricultural products, remember. Okay, then people should not expect any change in the price of the commodity. I'll give a very good example, like regular groceries like onions. Okay, so especially in the season, in the rainy season, its price usually starts rising. But still, so according to the law of demand, if the price increases, if the price increases, the demand should fall down. Quantity demanded should fall down. But what happens in this case, with an increase in price, even the quantity demanded also increases along with price. You know why? Because they are expecting that in the next coming future, the prices may still go higher. That is what. People should not expect any change in the price of the commodity. The opposite, if you're expecting that the price of a mobile phone is definitely going to come down in the next 1 month or 2 months, then you don't plan to buy it. We don't buy it even though the price is a bit lower now. Okay, let us assume in the first week the price of a mobile was 20,000 rupees. In the second week it came down to 18,000 rupees. So according to the law of demand, when the prices have come down, the demand should increase. Am I right? But in this case, if people feel that maybe in the next coming week still the prices of this mobile is going to come down, then rather than buying now, they will wait for one more week and then start buying. So here in this case, the law of demand is not applicable here. Though the price is coming down, the demand is not much affected because people are expecting that there may be a reduction in the price still in the coming future. So they don't still buy it. In such case, the law of demand is not truly, really valid. So all these assumptions should hold true if the law of demand is supposed to be valid in its true sense. Okay, so simply to say, the law of demand is applicable when all these assumptions are held true. If they exist, then only the law of demand is truly applicable, or else it is not applicable. Okay, so these were assumptions of the law of demand. Okay, I'll only take 2 more minutes, please. So then don't you think this law of demand has got some limitations? Okay, this is the law of demand, its assumptions. So any principle proposed has definitely got certain limitations or exceptions to the law of demand. Okay, I'll just have a quick review of those exceptions, right? Generally then, the law of demand has got a downward slope curve, right? It means this is the law of demand which is truly applicable, downward slope. Then whenever there are exceptions to the law of demand, the curve will be like this, upward slope. Okay, that is the curve is positive, remember. This is said to be a positive curve and this is said to be a negative curve. Why negative curve? There is an inverse relationship, quantity demanded and price. Okay, whenever there is an inverse relationship existing between two variables, that curve is said to be a negative curve or a downward slope. Okay, that was with respect to the law of demand. Exceptional cases. So exceptional cases means the law of demand is exactly reverse. So in the law of demand, it was a negative curve and downward slope. So in exceptional cases, the curve is a upward curve. It's not a downward slope, it is an upward curve and it is a positive curve. Positive curve means there is a positive relationship between price and quantity demanded of a commodity. The price increases, the quantity demanded also increases. Then we say that there is a positive relationship between two variables. Okay, so that is the curve for exceptional products, which violate the law of demand. Okay, so that's why I put it here. The general curve for law of demand is downward sloping, but for all limitations and exceptional goods, it is a positive curve or an upward slope. Remember, you can see here, even though the price is increasing from P to P1, okay, maybe from 15 to 20 rupees, the price is increased, but still the quantity demanded is also increasing, which is against the law of demand. So it is an exception. So when does this exception occur? So what are the goods or what are the circumstances under which the demand curve is positive or the law of demand is not valid? When does it happen? I'll only read out those examples and stop. Okay. So it happens under these circumstances. With respect to Giffen's goods, I'll explain it tomorrow. Veblen goods, ignorance, when you ignore the price, speculative effect, when you predict that definitely in future the prices are going to change, that is speculation. Next, fear of shortage. Okay, other necessities. Okay, so these are certain exceptions where the law of demand is invalid. Okay, we'll see this in the next class again. So be prepared for tomorrow, the remaining presentations. So I'll end the session here. You can quit the session now.